to another episode of Married to Ball Podcast. I'm here with Jane Sheffy and Makai Slaughter, and we're talking about NFL topics today. So we're going to talk about a few of the NFL coaching fires, and then we're going to talk about NFC South Division, what's been going on over there in the past few years. And then we're going to talk about the Ravens and Steelers Sunday Night Football game. And then we'll talk about some wild card matchups as well. So head coaching firings, we had Kevin Stefanski and Raheem Morris, as well as the Ravens firing Mr. John Harbaugh. So we're going to jump into some of those. We'll start with Harbaugh because I think that's the biggest topic of the day that just happened. So I'll let Jaden start with his thoughts on the Ravens firing their head coach.
Yeah, there was some speculation for sure. Genuinely by the outcome of the game. It was either going to be a Steelers loss or Ravens loss. Obviously, yes, someone has to win, but I think ultimately that was going to decide if an organization was going to move on from their coach. But I didn't really expect this to happen, given the way that Ravens game ended in the way that it did. I mean, Tyler Luke, rookie kicker, he makes that field goal. We probably aren't having this conversation. I think it was literally a matter of that alone. I think Baltimore's making a huge mistake. I think it's interesting. We watched that Lamar Jackson interview after the game. I mean, that kind of said a lot by the question he avoided. I'll let the fellow speak to that maybe a little bit more, but I think that said a lot. I think few words can say a lot sometimes, and that definitely did. Nonetheless, he's been there 18 years, won a Super Bowl with them. In 14 years since they've been back. It's been quite a while. I think just the reason they moved on, this team's looked out of sorts, I'd say the last couple months. Defense wasn't playing great. Obviously, offense. The players in Lamar and Derrick Henry didn't look too happy as well throughout the course of the season. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think they're making a mistake. I just don't know what other coach you can get at this point with this coaching carousel. That's going to be an upgrade. So I don't know if they're making the right decision here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It has just been reported that multiple teams are reaching out to John Harbaugh as we speak. So that should tell you everything we need to know. It's just a bad mistake. Harbaugh's been great in his tenure with the Baltimore Ravens. Even if you decided to move off Harbaugh, I don't think this was the season to do it. It feels like it's been talked about, for the last couple years. But this definitely was not the year to move off of him. Heck, I would have said been a little bit more satisfied if you moved off from last year. But considering all the injuries he went through, considering Lamar being in and out the lineup, considering the lack of creativity from the OC, like I don't know how he's the scapegoat for this season. Um, it genuinely is mind-boggling to me. Um, yeah, that just makes no sense. Um, Harbaugh's going to be a great coach somewhere else. He's going to turn some organization around because he's a very, very good coach, and he's very good at being a leader of men. So kind of a puzzling firing for me. So
Yeah, got to see Lamar's post game interview yesterday, and they asked him about what's going to happen to head coach, and he literally dodged it and just pretty much said, "I can't even think about that right now," which is valid. Like you just came off of a tough loss, but for him to just dodge the question and answer like that, kind of like raise an eyebrow. I definitely think the Ravens are making a mistake, and the only way you could justify this is if John Harbaugh did not want an OC or DC to go, and they wanted that firing to happen. Or and like I think like over the years, they've hired multiple OCs that John Harbaugh has had a say in, and it's been terrible. Like I don't think in the past few years with drafting wide receivers and the play calling offensive side of the ball, it has been good for this franchise, and with a two-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. And I've heard some analysts as of late talk about Lamar's coming into a contract year pretty soon. So if it's possible they could be even going a different direction. But it's going to be interesting to see who they hire and how this Ravens organization handles Lamar Jackson's contract moving forward and offensive personnel, because definitely some things need to change on that side of the ball. That being said, I don't want to give John Harbaugh much blame for this season because of injuries, especially on the defensive side. I feel like it was pretty much close to the 49ers and what they had to deal with. But that loss against the Steelers was tough, and they had to find a scapegoat, and they did that. Any last thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that the coordinators weren't fired first. I get your point, but at the same time, this guy's been here for almost 2 decades. So it shocked me that they let him go in this way. I'm really curious to see who they hire. I really don't know outside of Raheem Morris and maybe Anthony Weaver, like who else is going to come in here. Um, all the other coaches that have been let go, like those are just not great options in my honest opinion. So it'd be interesting.
Hey, thank goodness we got Mike McDonald. Thank goodness. Thank you to the whole Ravens organization for that. That was a blessing. Next coach we're gonna talk about is Kevin Stefanski. You know, I'll let Makai start on this one. Another Browns head coach gone with the wind.
Yeah, he's actually been merging in talks for head coaching jobs. So, amen. Maybe Baltimore. No, all seriousness, the fancy had to go. Um, like the way he, I mean, treated part of their future franchise quarterback in Shador. I mean, that alone, that's just unacceptable as a head coach, especially as a offensive head coach at that. And some of the puzzling decisions he made in game, from the 2 point conversion when you take Shador's out, from even some of the play call selection was just odd. Um, so not surprised. Stefanski's probably gonna land another job because he's not a bad OC by any stretch of the imagination, but it was kind of a fire we all saw coming. Um, so yeah, it's time for the Browns to make a change. Seems like we say that every year. So
Yeah, I think the bigger issue Cleveland has is management, to be completely honest. But one thing I don't really understand is like how much praise this guy gets. I really don't understand it. Any other coach with a different name would literally be made fun of and ran out the door if they had the type of record Stefanski has. Um, this dude hasn't won anything. He's been to the playoffs twice in the last 7 years. He's won a playoff game, what, once? I just don't really get it. Um, they've had so many different quarterbacks. They all call this guy a quarterback whisperer, an offensive genius. What? Who's been good at QB under him? I just really, I haven't seen one quarterback yet that has been successful under his leadership. So I don't really understand like the national praise that this guy gets to justify another team hiring him as head coach. But with that said, I do still believe that the Clevelands have a bigger monster to defeat in their ownership. I think they have set them up for failure in ways that are just unimaginable the last 5, 6 years.
Yeah, it comes down to this. There's like two organizations, maybe three, where kids on draft day they don't want to go. And that's an organization. That's not a head coach problem. Um, yeah, I think this was justified. It was a bit surprising that they're already coming out and saying they're not sure who the quarterback of the future is going to be or quarterback for next year. So they're already causing issues in their organization by putting that out there. Um, I thought this was the right move by the Browns, but I mean, this isn't going to solve anything. I don't think any head coach can come in here and solve this problem until management is terminated and they figure out a whole new direction moving forward. All right, Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons. How do we feel about this hire? I'll let Jaden go on this one first.
Genuinely was probably I was thoroughly shocked to be completely honest. Um, yeah, he's had a shaky couple two seasons, but this Falcons team looked really solid the last 4 weeks of their season. Defense started playing a lot better. He's dealt with injuries on both sides of the ball the last 2 years. Quarterback play has been inconsistent due to injury as well. That's not something anyone could control. Um, but it seemed like the overall vibe of the team the last 2 years is that they do really like him as far as the players I'm talking about. So this shocked me, especially after the game when they beat New Orleans. Um, it's a cold business, guys. It's a cold business. He walked off the field, got hugs from ownership, and then 30 minutes later fired. Um, so it's just that's the business that we live in with the NFL. But yeah, I don't. Again, similar situation to the Ravens. Who are you going to bring in that's better? And yes, I know he was almost at 500, but who's going to be better than that? Um, or the same is kind of what you're looking for at this particular point. You bring in a Stefanski, are you really going to get that much better with him? I'm just not sure. So we'll see what happens. This did surprise me though.
No, I agree. This Atlanta team seemed like it was turning a corner, especially towards the end of the season. Um, and it seemed like they could have rode a little of this momentum into next season because we've seen it. We've seen teams, finish the season strong, and even though they don't make a playoff win or make the playoffs, finish the string strong, and then go in the next season they're fine. Look at Detroit. People forget the year before Detroit did not make the playoffs, had that big win at Lambeau, and they never looked back since. So I don't know. I thought this firing was a bit puzzling. Not really a fan of it, and I mean, I don't really see anybody that would be that much of a better candidate to make this move. So, I mean, maybe Harbaugh, I guess, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I think that's the only option, Makai, is hardball. To make a change with the Falcons. This team this year reminded me a lot about the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles have a much better defense, but just the way that you have a great running back, weapons on the outside, and then the scheme is just basic on the offensive side of the ball. I wish Morris got another year with a different OC just to see how things would pan out. But I'm gonna be honest, especially with the black man at head coach, like this is what you're gonna see. It's gonna be real quick with environments. So it's unfortunate. I think he'll get a job somewhere else because I think he's a good coach. But yeah, we'll see how this organization does moving forward without him. Last head coach we're going to speak on is Pete Carroll. He is relieved of his duties with the Raiders and had the first pick in the draft. A lot of people believe that they're going to go quarterback with that first pick, but time will tell. I'll let Jaden start with the ex Seahawks head coach and now ex Raiders head coach.
Yeah, it's time, man. Um, it's it all happens for all of us, but it's just time to be done. And I think that was pretty clear this year. This Raiders team was awful. Um, it was just an awful team from top down. They looked absolutely incompetent in every area of football. Special teams, defense, off, it don't matter. They just were outplayed every single week. Um, but see, I mean, us Seahawks fans, like we know about Pete Carroll, we know the style. It's just outdated. I'm gonna be honest. It just really is. The NFL, the level of athletes nowadays is completely different, and trying to revive your team to be an old Seahawks team just isn't going to work at this level anymore. So I think this was definitely the right decision. I know they didn't want someone like Pete Carroll making this number one pick this upcoming year. The second part I'll speak to really quick before Makai goes is this number one pick. I really hope, I know they're not going to do it, but please do not draft a quarterback. It is not worth it. It really is not. You all need so much more than that. The quarterback is not going to fix his team. Um, I know they're going to get tempted drafting Mendoza first. It's going to be a mess. Like they need to get best player available outside of quarterback. I would trade Max Crosby. Like they need pieces. This team needs to go into complete rebuild if they even want to have a shot of being somewhat competent the next 2 3 years.
To add what Jay said, so would you say tell them they should trade back?
Yep,
I mean, that's
trade
that.
Trade
back.
back, get capital, everything.
That's
Do
what I say
not
would make the
draft a
most sense.
quarterback.
I
Yep.
said that would make the most sense if you don't go
But
quarterback.
like some organizations, of course, they don't have common sense. Talk.
Yeah, I mean, but you know how it goes. You ain't got no quarterback, and they think you just throw that in, and it fixes everything. And it's just such a rare occurrence. Like we see it from time to time, but unless you're hitting on some generational talent, I don't see it. But anyways, yeah, Pete Carroll, it's time to get that old fart out of there. He's old, he's washed. This ain't USC, this ain't Seattle. Yeah, like Jaden said, his style is it's outdated, man. It's time for him to go home, retirement home, wherever he stays, because the NFL is not for him anymore. Like this Raiders team was pathetic. Gino was pathetic. Everyone not named Ashton Genty and Max Crosby was absolutely pathetic. Um, like it was terrible. I don't know how this team beat the Patriots week one. Like I genuinely don't know. So yeah, it was time. Raiders hire literally anyone else, and make sure their mind still works when you make that hire. So yeah,
Yeah, I was listening to the first take, and they were talking about how Tom Brady needs to make the first pick selection. Like, no, you got to trade back. You got to you got to trade Max Crosby, like Jaden said. You got to get as much draft capital as possible. You can't just throw a quarterback into the fire with this roster. Terrible O line play. The defense is suspect. You're gonna ask a rookie quarterback to go put 40 every game. Like, what's the point of that? They need a better OC. They need a DC. I'm glad they got rid of Pete because um, he just wasn't going to pan out for the Raiders, and there's a reason why the Seahawks got rid of him as well. But yeah, to address Pete, I mean, if you love something, you got to let it go, and all good things must come to an end. So it's time to retire. But he's going to be a Hall of Fame coach, if I'm not mistaken. So, stop while you're ahead. All right. NFC South, how sad can it get? I'll let Jaden start.
I truly don't think we've seen anything like this in our time. When we have a game where Carolina plays Tampa, Carolina loses, and then we have to wait the next day to find out if Tampa keeps that spot and they lose that spot. The team that lost watched another team lose and they got in the playoffs. And everyone in the NFC South has a losing record. Um, this division needs to be eliminated and thrown in whatever big enough trash can you can find. Um, this division is terrible, and I just think it needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. Maybe even change the name NFC something else. But this division is awful, and it's been like this for years. Every single year, someone gets in with an 8-9 record, and there's an automatic exit in the first round. I even consider any of the wild card teams that didn't get in replace the NFC South at this point. Like if you have a losing record, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. That's a waste of money. No one wants to watch the game. It's pretty simple. So this division is embarrassing.
yeah, it's sad. Thought the Bucks would be decent. Sad. Panthers, we thought they'd be absolutely golf awful, but they were mid. They were mid. Somehow won this division. Shout out to the Panthers. Saints were trash. Falcons for most of the season they were trash. Um, yeah, this division's pretty bad. And this division just seems like to consistently be the worst division in football for like the last like 5 years. Go back, look at those division
Since
winners,
Tom Brady retired.
and even then it was kind of bad. Like towards the tail end, like once Drew Brees couldn't throw past 20 yards, it got very scary, very scary. Um, heck, so yeah, this division has just been low key the ACC of the NFL for the last like probably 7 8 years. If we're being honest, it would be like one team that's just significantly better than the other. Um, but this year they all suck. So
Yeah, I think we got to make it a rule. If you're under 500, you can't get in. Like that, that's actually pretty decent. But this division is so bad that at home their division leader is dogged by 10.5 points against a 5 seed. That's how bad this division is. You guys know how close the spreads are in the NFL. 10.5. That's like that's like Oregon against Northwestern or something. It's just sick work. So yeah, I don't got too much to say. How sad are they? They're sad as it gets. Uh, we'll talk about Sunday night football game, Ravens and Steelers. Give our quick thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into some playoff matchups. So, Jaden, what are your thoughts on the Steelers' close win?
Yeah, there's just so many different directions like we could go, or we could have gone, I should say. That kick determined a lot. It determined what head coach keeps their job, who wins the North, what does next year look like for each team, the status of potentially Rodgers coming back versus not coming back at all. Um, I think it, I think it determined quite a bit. But to just keep it simple for the game itself, this was a classic AFC North matchup, and we definitely got what we were looking for in a competitive game. I got to really focus on Aaron Rodgers here. To do what he did with a very average OC, no receivers, no DK. Your best receivers at this point on the field are your running backs, and to be able to win that game, it's just phenomenal at his age as well. Just phenomenal. Guys, come on, the throws that he made in that game, some of the throws he made, that that's out of this world. This is easily the best talented arm we've ever seen, in my opinion, at the quarterback position in the history of the game. It's really not close to me. Um, Tough loss for the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson did everything he needed to do. Didn't have a very great first half, but I don't think he was the reason that they lost this game. Once Kyle Hamilton went out the game, it was pretty much wraps for them defensively. He just changes everything for them on the defensive side of the ball. But defense, kicker didn't do their part, and Ravens ended up going home.
yeah, this game just came down to the defense. Uh, they were terrible. Um, they were absolutely terrible. And people's blaming Lamar. I'm hearing, obviously Harbaugh ended up getting scapegoated, but excuse me, the defense was just awful. I mean, that's the reason why they lost this game. Like, there's just no reason the Steelers team should put up 26 points. Like, no reason, like at all. Um, Especially, I think the 23 of them were in the second half. Like, that's inexcusable. Like, that is inexcusable. But yeah, Rogers was dealing, man. The one throw he hit Thielen on the seam, like that was like that was ridiculous. Like Thielen wasn't open. Like he just put it there. So yeah, Rogers balled. Warren, man, Jalen Warren can really run the rock, man. Like obviously he's not top 10, top 15 back, but he's really really good. And when he gets going, he gets going. Um, yeah, this was a great game. I think a great way to end the NFL season. Pretty solid NFL season. and nothing better than the Steelers walking away with a win.
Yeah,
So
I think the Ravens offense honestly could have done more. They were up 10-0, and I don't think the second and third quarter they looked all that good. The Steelers decided to really stop Derrick Henry running the football. And there were times where Lamar didn't, keep the chains pushing. Obviously, he had that fourth down and he was clutch, and it came down to the kicker. But there were times where the Ravens' offense also looked unimpressive. But obviously, the defense got to play better. Like Adam Thielen's been on how many teams? 10, and he's just cooking y'all at will. Third and 10, I think it was Awuzie or whoever slips, biting on a slant. Third and 10, slant and go touchdown. Like, what are we doing? So they made Aaron Rodgers look like he was in his prime. To be honest, D-line got no pressure, and he threw like 47 times. Rodgers and just sliced them up the whole second half, which is just it can't happen. And then that kick, I mean, they deserve to lose. So there you have it. Any last thoughts before we move on? All right, playoffs, divisional round. Start with the 10-point dogs. The Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. They're playing at home against Matthew Stafford. I think he's the MVP favorite. And his Rams. They're going to Carolina. So I'll let Jaden give his thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, first and foremost, I think you have to be happy for Dave Canales. If you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, you're certainly happy for him. That's where he started out his NFL coaching career, was under Pete Carroll. So cool for him to get to this point. But, the celebration ends here. Rams coming into town. We already know it's tough to beat a team twice, but this game won't be close. It's an absolute nightmare anytime that you have to go against McVay and Stafford, but it's even worse when you have to go up against them in the playoffs. And they're going to scheme it up and carve this defense up like crazy. I think Matthew Stafford will have a great game. You get Devonta Adams back. The defense, they're going to do their thing. They've had some down weeks the last couple of weeks, especially after that Seattle victory, but they're going to pick it right back up. This team is built to last, and that's all because of their coaching. And anyone that has to see this team in the playoffs, watch out, because it's not going to be easy. So I've got Rams winning this one. Honestly, I'm going to say 40-24.
I'm not even gonna try to board y'all with an analysis of this game. It's Rams, 38-20. That's it.
38-20. I think this Panthers defense is the strength of their team. Um, like, I don't think the offense is that great. Unfortunately, Rams offense is the strength, and Puka Nacua is going to do what he got to do. Like you guys mentioned, Stafford, McVay, and the pieces they have, but Puka is the best player on the Rams team, and it's not close. I think he's better than Stafford. Like with the plays he's making for him, the one-handed catches, route running, third down conversions, releases, everything that you want a receiver, Puka's doing. Spec catches, everything. I got the Rams winning this game. I think the defense is going to get tired in the second half. I think the Panthers defense will make it a little bit competitive in the first. But I got the Rams pulling away and winning this game. Go 24-10. All right, next game we got. Last time these two teams faced, it was a nail biter. We got Bears and Packers. Packers are actually favored as a 7 seed on the road, 1.5 points. I'll let Jaden give his analysis.
Yeah, this was a very fun Bears team to watch this year. We've talked a lot about it on the podcast. We've talked over and over again about how impressive Ben Johnson has been. I mean, look at this in his first season as a head coach. They won the NFC North. You really can't ask much more out of someone in their first year. But man, this Bears offense is fun to watch. The way they run the football, the way they get downhill and the creativity within the play action is really fun experience if you're a football fan. Packers, on the other hand, they've really been struggling ever since Parsons has gone down with the ACL tear. It's just a different team. They're not getting pressure on the quarterback the same, and it's pretty obvious that it's putting a lot of pressure on the secondary to hold up their end of the bargain defensively. This has been a very tough matchup going into Chicago and playing this Bears team. I think it's an absolute nightmare to prepare for this offense. Bears defense is so-so, but they're opportunistic when it comes to creating turnovers. I think they're number one in the league when it comes to that. So as much as a Seahawks fan, I'd like to play the Packers. I don't see them winning against Chicago in this game. I got the Bears pulling this one out and moving on to the divisional. I got the Bears winning here 28-20.
This best team has been the surprise of the year. I don't think anybody anticipated them to win 11 games and not win this division. That's for sure. I mean, this division is really good. I mean, the Packers, Detroit. I mean, obviously the regulars will show how good those teams are, but those teams could really compete with almost anybody in the NFL. But I don't know. Like, I'm tossing back and forth with this game because last time I seen the Bears play the Packers, I didn't like what I saw from Chicago. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a little flukish, how they won the game and everything. Um, it didn't feel like they went out and dominated. It felt like a game that the Packers just lost. And they really outplayed the Bears most of that game, and the offense was not clicking. And this was after Micah was injured and Jordan Love got hurt. So it's just like I like the Packers. Like I just got to take the Packers in this game. I think they've shown they've been the better team when these two meet. Albeit no Micah, but I just don't see the magic happening again. And I hope I'm wrong because I'm really rooting for this Bears team. And this team has been really good all season. And I would love to see Caleb Williams to continue this magical run, that magical season that they're having. But I just don't see how they beat this Packers team who has, shown they've been better than this team while also having the playoff experience that Jordan Love and I'm blanking out on the head coach's name. Goodness gracious, Lafleur. Uh, yeah, the experience they have in playing in these types of games, especially on the road. So I like the Packers 28-20, 24-20.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a good game. Comes down to me how well and how much are the Bears going to run the football. If they do that and don't rely too much on their passing game, I think they'll be just fine. Um, Yeah, I keep going back and forth with this game as well. I love what I've been seeing from the Bears. I think Caleb Williams has looked night and day from last year. Jay spoke about the play action, but it's also how simple their head coach is just making the offense for him, Ben Johnson. He's making his reads simple, and just the amount of movement, motion, and everything that they're doing is just it's really fun to watch. That being said, I don't think the Packers are scared of this team at all, even without Micah. They beat them at home. I think it was 28, 27-20, 28-20. And then the Packers went to Soldier Field and pretty much had that game in the bag, and it came down to a guy muffing an onside kick. So to send it to OT, and then DJ Moore happened. So I'm going to take the Packers. I think they just have more playoff experience. I think Caleb, with his first playoff appearance, he might be a little shaky. I'm not sure if the Packers can get home, but we will see. And I know that I can trust LaFleur in the playoffs more than Ben Johnson. We'll see. I got the Packers win this game 28. Go 28-24 in a close one. All right, next game we got Bills and Jags. I think this is gonna be the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. Um, I just think the Jags are playing really good football right now, and then the Bills coming in with Josh Allen. Like, Josh, this is your time. No Mahomes, no Lamar. It's your time. But they are traveling on the road and facing a good Jags team. So, Jay, let's hear your thoughts.
Got similar situation to the Bears, I guess. First year head coach, man, what a phenomenal job Liam Cohen's done to turn this organization around, literally upside its head, and to be in the playoffs, winning the AFC South, and being the 3 seed. It just speaks for itself and what type of coach he is. He's really brought Trevor Lawrence into his own. We're finally seeing him wake up. He's been playing great football the last month. Um, I just think there's just a lot of inexperience on this Jacksonville team. I'm going to trust Josh Allen over anything else in this particular point. The only thing that does concern me is the Bills' defense and the lack of help Josh Allen has on the offensive side of the ball, obviously outside of James Cook. But I'm going to go with Josh Allen here. I trust him to get it done. If he ever wants a chance at a Super Bowl, this is the year. As Dylan just said, no Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow. This is the time to do it. So I got the Bills winning in a close one and winning on a walk-off field goal. I think the Bills take this and move on to the divisional, winning 31-28.
Look, first thing, Jags. What a season. You would have told me this team would win 13 games, especially how they looked like the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. No way. Liam Cohen has done a great job over there. Sucks that Travis Hunter isn't playing, but man, if you're the Jags, you should feel really encouraged. This is how good your team looks, and your first round pick didn't even play more than half the season. So if you're the Jags, feel very encouraged. The progression of T Law has been amazing. So if you're a Jags, very encouraging season. But when it comes to these playoffs, man, who's pulling the trigger? And who do I trust more, T Law or Josh Allen? And I'm sorry, I got to go with Josh Allen. I think the Jags team this year is probably better than the Bills from top to bottom. The defense is better. The defense is really good. I think the offense as a collection of talent is probably a little bit better than what the Bills have. Um, but man, Josh Allen, that's all they have, and that's all they need to get over a game like this. I know it sounds like I'm glazing, but it's just a reality. It's just a reality. When you get into these games, who's the quarterback? Um, Typically the better quarterback wins. That's why we saw Mahomes go on the run he did. That's why typically the winner of the Super Bowl, if it wasn't Mahomes, was an elite quarterback who put up elite stats. Um, so I like the Bills in this game. I think Josh Allen makes a couple plays and gets him just over the hump. And two, he has to, man. He knows he has to. I think he understands this opportunity that the Bills have, and you're probably not going to get another opportunity like this um, anytime soon. So you got to take advantage of it when you can. So I like the Bills in this game. I think the Bills get a huge, huge win at Jacksonville, and you don't have to worry about the cold weather. So I think I like the Bills 23-17.
Yeah, I won't be shocked if the Bills win this game. I just think the Bills' strength on offense plays right into the hands of what Jacksonville does good on defense. Jacksonville's second in run defense, while James Cook is, I think he's leading the league in rushing, which is the strength of the Bills' offense. Obviously, besides Shakir, they don't really have uh, great threats on the outside for the Bills. And then this Jags defense can get pressure on Josh Allen, and if they're sound on their the way they rush the quarterback, I think they can be effective. I don't think we realize how good this Jacksonville team has played. I think you guys remember that Monday night game against the Chiefs when the Chiefs needed to have it. That was huge. And then the last time the Broncos lost, this team went to Denver, won 34-20. So I think this Jags offense is really good. They're well balanced. They can run the ball really well, which is the Bills' defense's weakness, and they're at home, so they have the advantage there. I think Trevor Lawrence understands that he has a good OC. He just gotta play within the system, and I think the team around him is much better than what Josh Allen has. So I'm going to take the Jags in this game in a close one. I got the Jags winning 33-30. All right, next game we got 49ers at the Eagles. I believe the Eagles are favored 4.5. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Eagles are favored at home. Should be a good game. I'll let Jan start.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Um, I've been going back and forth as well. Estelle's been talking about this game a little bit today earlier. It's gonna be interesting. I think we kind of saw how the Niners are really going to struggle in the playoffs against the game they just had against Seattle. Um, they really struggled offensively. There's just not enough firepower that they have against good defenses. And I would say outside of Seattle and Houston, Eagles defense is pretty much up there as well. This defense over the last, I would say, 5 weeks has really come together. Can't say enough about their secondary, to be honest with you. Quinion Mitchell, you got Blankenship at safety, and then you got Cooper DeJean as well. These guys can cover anybody. Um, Obviously, they can get to the pass, can get to the quarterback as well with their pass rush. So Vic Fangio, he's done it again. This defense was pretty shaky in the middle of the season, but they've really come together. So I've got the Eagles winning here. It's at home. It's in Philly, a nightmare of a place to play. Um, Niners got injuries all over the place, and hats off to Shanahan. I would not be surprised if he got Coach of the Year, given what he's had to deal with. But it's just not enough to overcome this strong of a team. If the Niners are going to win, they're going to have to put together an absolute miracle on the defensive side of the ball by forcing some turnovers. But I got the Eagles here, and I've got them winning 19-14.
I'm not gonna lie. All the things Jaden brought up is true. It's true. It's very true. Man, give me the Niners, man. Give me the Niners. Like, I don't know, Kyle Shanahan in these playoff games, I think he thrives as an underdog. I think they love being underdogs. I really do. Um, I mean, this man Brock Purdy. I mean, outside of the last game, like he's been terrific. Um, don't get me wrong, this Eagles defense is really good. Like it's really good, and we're gonna find out a lot about this Eagles team. That's all I can say. This is a winnable game. It's a very winnable game. I think probably the most favorable matchup they could have possibly gotten in terms of a team that's not great defensively. Their offense is really good. Like the Niners' offense is really good, but struggles against elite defenses. If the Eagles can't get this done, we need to have some serious conversations about that roster, man. Serious conversations because it's ridiculous. You should get this done. Um, I'm taking the Niners. I think they sell. I really do. Um, this Eagles team last year had a great run. Um, they played really good football, but I think their inability, their lack of creativity offensively, um, also to just how ineffective Saquon has been compared to last year, and how those teams were more led on the running game, um, and the lack of creativity in the run game, and the offensive line not being as good in the run game as it's been in years past. I think it's going to show its hand in either this game or the next. But I think it shows its hand this game. So give me the Niners. I think the Niners scored just enough in a low scoring game, 17-14.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Niners team is just banged up too much. They they're missing a bit best pass rusher, and then their linebacker Bethune, another linebacker's down. So like, who's gonna play Packer? The only way Niners win this game is one if Brock Purdy just goes crazy. Like he has to play perfect for them to win this game, or the Eagles OC just completely just lays an egg and just I don't know how bad he could play call for them to lose this game. But I see Saquon finally popping off in this game against depleted front seven. And I think Jalen Hurts in these games in the playoffs, he's underrated. I think he's going to take more chances by running with his legs. He's going to make the right plays on third down. And I think they're going to lean on Saquon in the running game. So I think their offense will be able to do exactly what Seattle did the other week. And then this defense is legit. They get pressure, they stop the run, and then Quinion Mitchell, man, that, who's gonna get open against him? He's gonna put all them 49er receivers in a chamber. Ricky Pearsall, um, whoever Jennings, whoever it may be, it's gonna be a box for them. So I got I got the Eagles winning this game at home. I think it'll be close just because I have that much respect for Shanahan. But I got the Eagles winning this game 24-19. All right, the next game we got is the Chargers at New England. Patriots are favored by 3.5 against Harbaugh and the Herbert Chargers. I'll let Jane start.
I won't spend too much time here. This is an easy win for Patriots. I don't trust Herbert in the playoffs at all. We all like to talk about Lamar Jackson can't win in the playoffs. This man can. Um, we've seen it twice. We've seen him when he was in the playoffs. I believe it was 2022 against Jacksonville, and they were up 28-0, lost somehow. Yes, Harbaugh wasn't there. It doesn't matter, in my opinion. You can't lose a game like that. And then last year, they were up on Houston. He threw 4 interceptions, and they lost that game. So I don't have any faith in this Chargers team when it comes to playoffs, particularly in Justin Herbert. He's a regular season superhero, in my opinion. I've got the Patriots winning and continuing their great season that they've had so far, but I've got them winning this one with ease, I would say. I think they scored 27 to the Chargers 18.
Yeah, I like the Pats. Don't get me wrong. I see what Jaden's saying, but I just think this Patriots team is just really good, man. They've been playing really good football, especially the offense. Drake May, whew, Drake May, he can really spin it, and those receivers are very underrated. Like, don't get me wrong, no one's. I mean, Diggs is probably the best one, but the threes and the fours really step up. Like Matt Collins has had a career year. Like he's had a really good year this year. Kayshawn Booty, when he's healthy, has been very solid. Um, and the running backs like Ramondre and Trey, like they can really tote it. I mean, Trey can hit you with an 80-yarder, and then Ramondre can it's like a bowling ball running the football. So I like the Pats. I think the Pats are also too peaking at the right time. Um, so I like the Pats in this game, 31-21.
Before I go, quick question for y'all: do we know what uh, is going on with the two players that caught cases on the Patriots team? Like, are they playing or like what's going on? They're
Yeah, they'll
playing.
be playing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it matters either way. All I'm going to say is Justin Herbert, if you want to change the narrative, it's the game to do it, and it's not going to be easy. He's going to have to play out of his mind. But this Patriots team, they're well balanced. I think this is the favorite in the AFC, in my opinion. They're playing at home. Drake May is a top three candidate for MVP. He's played that good this season. And then they just got weapons in the run game on the outside, and I can't see the Patriots losing this game. I got them winning. Same score as Jay, 27-18. All right, last game of the night, y'all. Texans at Mackay Steelers. Mackay, do you see an upset here? I'll let you go first, dog.
Um, yeah, I'll analyze this. To be honest, if this game was in Houston, I don't think it'd be a chance, at all. Um, but I will say, the Steelers team, one thing they do have an advantage. This is a home game, home primetime game at Stadium. Haven't played a playoff game there in what 7 to 8 years. Like, dude, that stadium's gonna be rocking. Like it is. Um, but man, this Texans defense, that Texans defense is elite, and I think it's been the best defense in the NFL all year long, especially towards the back end of the season. But I'm telling you, if the Steelers can get goodness, the Steelers can get after Stroud a little bit, it could be a little interesting. But I like the Texans in this game. I do. Um, I will say I'm a little concerned with C.J. Stroud in the cold. We'll see how it looks. He can be a little, little wonky at times. But I'll take the Texans. I just don't think the Steelers are going to score enough to win the game. The Steelers able to cause a couple turnovers, which is possible. Like the Steelers team is known to cause a lot of turnovers, but I think it's going to be a little closer than some people think. So give me the Texans 17-13.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close, unfortunately. Um, this defense is insane. And I would agree with you that it's probably been the better defense for some parts of the season. It's right up there with Seattle. Um, the way they can get after the quarterback, it's just unreal. They got their edge rushers, both sides, and Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. And we haven't even talked about their secondary. Um, Stingley, Lassiter, Petrie, like, yeah, it's a nightmare. I don't think the Steelers have much of a shot, especially with their lack of skill players on the outside. And going against this defense is not a fun task for any quarterback, especially an aging one at that. So I'm going to go with Texans here. I think it will be low scoring as well. This will probably be more of a defensive game, but I got the Texans running away with this one, 23-15.
Um, yeah, Texans are the better team. Their defense is legit. Seahawks are the best defense in the NFL. Let me get that out of the way. Texans are second. Um, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to be under pressure. It's not going to be like last week where he can just sit there and dissect the defense. And then these cornerbacks are going to be sticky, unlike Baltimore Ravens cornerbacks. They just couldn't do it last week. Um, yeah, the only way to win this game is if CJ just he's freezing up and those fans are getting to him and he makes some mistakes, which I do see him making a couple, but I don't think it'll be enough for the Steelers to win this game. I think it'll be a close game. That being said, I got the Texans winning this game 20-16. All right. Last game we're going to discuss about. So I appreciate you guys joining us for another episode. This is Man the Ball Podcast signing out. Please like and subscribe to the video, and we'll be back with more content next week.